What's up? Welcome to your Buckeye Rush Hour for a Friday. How's everybody doing, you crazy bastards? February 16, 2024. Sure, I've said three, probably the entire January and February so far. So, anyways, get your comments in here. We're talking a lot about Buckeye coaches today, not just James Laurinaitis, but the other coaches who got extensions. Larry Johnson's a big one. So we're going to get into it in just a minute, but drop your questions, comments. Question for the chat. That's a tough one. I want to talk about quite a bit about Larry Johnson's 2-year contract. Are you okay with just a 2-year contract for Larry Johnson? Yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Is it going to stop the rumors? Might be a better question, but no. You happy with the 2-year deal for Larry Johnson? Let me know in the chat, and I will hop in there. I will get to your questions and comments. As you know, typically I lay out the topic, give you a little rundown, and then we pop in the chat, see what's going on, see how you guys are thinking. If you want to take the show in a different direction, we'll do that. Except for politics. We're not going to talk politics, much to Stu Bedazzled's unhappiness. Sorry, Stu. But thanks for the unsub anyways. Anyways, let's go. Let's talk some James Laurinaitis here. A Buckeye legend becomes position coach of the very room that he made, continued the tradition. Really, he didn't make it, but he continued and actually took it to another level, I feel. So James Laurinaitis, one of the most decorated Ohio State players in history. He was a 3-time consensus All-American from 06 to 08. He was Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year twice and 3 times first team All Big Ten. He won the Bronco Nagurski Award in 2006, the Butt Kiss in 07, and the Lott Trophy in 2008. Some decent names on those trophies. I'd love to give me one of those Lott trophies. Anyways, he played in 2 national title games, 2 Fiesta Bowls, was a second-round pick in the 2009 NFL Draft. Laurinaitis played 8 seasons in the NFL for the Rams and the Saints. Finished his pro career with 869 career tackles, 16 and a half sacks, 10 interceptions. You got to work on those hands, son. Come on. Only 10 picks in 8 years? Just kidding. 35 passes deflected and 2 forced fumbles. Of course, we know him most recently as local sports radio guy on 97.1 The Fan in Columbus, and then doing the color commentary on the BTN, Big Ten Network. So then he decided to go into coaching, joined the Notre Dame staff, 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. So here he is, 2 years as a GA, and suddenly he's a position coach. It's quite the quick rise. We'll talk a little bit. I would like to talk about, the linebacker room as it currently stands. Some guys that maybe need some development, maybe haven't shown us what their recruiting rankings might have been. Can I say CJ Hicks maybe? But so before the James Laurinaitis promotion, Jim Knowles was technically listed as the Buckeyes linebacker coach. But over the last 2 years, they were using GAs to handle most of the coaching duties, especially this past year with James on the staff. So Laurinaitis joined the staff last year, worked with the Buckeye linebackers. Now he'll be one of the 10 full-time assistant coaches. So that means he can be out on the road recruiting 100% of the time. Laurinaitis was able to recruit over the last month when the Buckeyes only had 9 coaches. So he was like their filling guy. You can send a GA out on the road so that he's part of your 10 countable. So, but 100% of the time now, he's full-time in recruiting, no limitations, other than the obvious dead periods, no contact periods, all that silly shit. In addition to elevating James Laurinaitis, Ryan Day also announced some extensions for the staff. It's been a busy winter of shakeups to the staff. Ryan Day let go of Corey Dennis, QB coach, safeties coach Perry Eliano, and special teams coordinator Parker Fleming. I'd say that's fair. Those guys seem to be kind of dead weight, in my opinion. Now you got Bill O'Brien. He stopped by for a quick cup of coffee. Then you bring in UCLA head coach Chip Kelly as quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator, which is a major upgrade from Bill O'Brien, who was a major upgrade from Corey Dennis. So, and you got yourself a play caller, which was most important and the key. Ryan Day also brought in former Indiana co-defensive coordinator Matt Guerrieri as safeties coach. He was with the Buckeyes a couple of years ago. And of course, Laurinaitis here to coach the linebackers. So as far as the other guys go, you got Tim Walton promoted to assistant head coach, secondary and cornerbacks coach. He received a 2-year extension through 2026. So you feel really good about that, especially in recruiting. These things, these contracts and stuff, and your status is always used against you in recruiting. Ask Larry Johnson, ask James Laurinaitis. So you have to feel good about the cornerback room, right? And even the secondary, as Tim Walton is having, a lot of a lot of input on the entire secondary. Then you got defensive coordinator Jim Knowles. He got a 2-year contract extension through 2026. So that's good. Again, we're getting farther and farther away from 2021, where we were just shuffling coaches in and out of that defensive room. You had Kerry Combs, Matt Barnes, a cluster between 2020 and 2022. So now you got some consistency year in, year out, not a lot of changing faces, maybe one or two here or there. But the other one I really wanted to talk about was defensive line coach Larry Johnson. He's also associate head coach. These titles are just so they can pay him more money and make it sound legit. So Larry has a new 2-year contract through 2025. Are the retirement rumors ever going to end? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about Larry sometimes. Yes, you want to keep the retirement rumors off of him, but I don't know. Seems like they're always going to be there because he could up and retire in the middle of a contract. The contract doesn't mean shit, really. It just means, it's just a flimsy thing to use in recruiting, in my opinion. But anyway, tight ends coach Keenan Bailey. We'll circle back to Larry in a bit. Tight ends coach Keenan Bailey also got a 1-year contract extension through 2025. And Larry Johnson's son, Tony Johnson, has joined the staff as a senior analyst. I believe he was a receiver at Penn State, maybe. I don't know much about him, but so the big questions are, how are special teams going to be managed, right? I mean, it is an important, the third phase of a team, offense, defense, special teams. So is this going to be shared, which I assume is probably going to be shared by multiple coaches? I say, Tim Walton probably, because he's really just coaching the DBs on a day-to-day basis. He could handle some duties. I think he got Matt Guerrieri. He's a young guy, energetic. See if he brings something to the table in the special teams realm. And you can use Hartline or somebody on the offensive side of the ball. I think 3 dudes is plenty. And Coach Day, if he has the time and wants to contribute, I mean, Urban Meyer did, but again, It was a different game, just 6 years ago, is college football was a much different, um, just overall world. Um, so it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. And as soon as somebody makes a mistake on special teams, we're going to be asking who we should point the finger at and calling for his job and all that shit, right? So we'll see how those duties are divvied up. So your final coaching list, your final 10, Ryan Day, obviously, head coach. You got quarterbacks and offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly, running backs, Tony Alford, wide receivers and co-offensive coordinator, Brian Hartline, tight ends, Keenan Bailey, offensive line, Justin Fry, defensive line, Larry Johnson, linebackers, James Laurinaitis, cornerbacks, Tim Walton, safeties, Matt Guerreri, and defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles. I would not read anything into the fact that they did not mention in this release by Ohio State yesterday that they didn't mention Alford, Fry, yeah, and Hartline. I'm pretty sure they're in the middle of deals, so it's not like they're really up. I don't believe any of their contracts are up right now, so that's why you didn't really see any official word there. But I'm sure we'll get some updates from Ryan Day the next time he talks to the media, and we'll see how we go from there. Tomorrow's Daily Blitz, I do want to update you on some programming things for the Buckeye Cast. Me, Jeff, and Sean will be back Sunday. Sean doesn't have any Lions games that like parties or anything. No more Super Bowls. So we'll see what excuse he has next. What else? I don't think those guys are going to be joining me today either. Anyways, tomorrow's Daily Blitz. I'm going to talk about the recruiting reaction to James Laurinaitis being promoted. We're in on some big time linebackers out of Florida, so I'll be talking about them and just general recruiting and as it relates to the James Laurinaitis promotion and stuff. So, and then I kind of got my episodes planned out. Yeah, the James Laurinaitis effect, I like to call it, in recruiting. Sunday, we'll be talking team win totals for the top 10 teams in the country, according to like the latest poll, which is way too early anyway. But we'll be talking Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame. Notre Dame there are no team win totals officially out for Notre Dame. Whatever reason, join a conference, losers. Then we'll talk plus Ole Miss, Missouri, Penn State, Bama, Utah, and the cheaters. That's so your top 10 plus the cheaters are at 13. You got to throw them in. Makes for a good show. And then Monday we'll be talking about linebacker Arbel Reese. Could be a position change in his future. So we'll see about that. He's so versatile. He could play a lot of different places. So, all right, let's pop in the chat, see what's going on. What's up, clowns? Nerds. All right, guys, already pounding the like button. I appreciate that. If you're new to the show, please hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's see what's happening here in the chat. Billy is the first one in. He says, "Hey, Joe and Co, let's go Buckeyes." Billy, you're rhyming today. I love it. I love it when Billy rhymes. Hey, and don't forget to check out the video vault, the buckeyecast.com. There's a link right below my face in the video and in the podcast format in the description. So check it out. We've got we have over 120 videos in there already. It's probably 2/3 recruiting and 1/3 classic Buckeye games, Buckeye legends, things like that. And it's continuously growing. So pop in there. There's a 3-day free trial to just get full reign of the site. Jump in there. Again, the buckeyecast.com. Click on Video Vault at the top of the page, and you're in. So, and no credit card. You don't need a credit card to sign up for the free trial. I don't want you guys to think that some people asked me on Twitter the other day if you have to use a credit card. No, it's free. Odysseus says, OH. IO to you, sir. Billy says IO. Jeremiah says, ooh, let's go Buckeyes. A day for me to celebrate. 2/16/67. It's my birthday today. All right. Happy birthday, Jeremiah. I'll send you a drink mentally. Mentally, I am sending a drink to you, sir. Happy birthday, Jeremiah. Top notch. Billy says, I don't see a 2-year deal for LJ stopping the negative recruiting. Yeah. Billy says, happy birthday, Jeremiah. Odysseus says, silver bullets back at linebacker. Jeremiah says, thank you, Billy. Odysseus says, players leaving the sinking ship from the cheaters. Yes. Yeah. And coaches. Don't forget the coaches. I think, I think Harbaugh really screwed those kids that wanted, maybe were on the fence about leaving right now, because he went past that their enrollment time for classes. I think he really screwed them. I don't like the way he did that. I don't think they could get out of the classes they're enrolled in and then get into a new school, that had already started classes as well. I think it might be good for Sharon Moore's, immediate future to make it look like everybody's staying on board. But I think after the spring ball and some of these garbage coaching hires they've made, I think you're going to see some guys jump ship. It'll be interesting to see who it is. Billy says, let's face it, D-line recruiting has been decent, but not great the last few cycles. Yeah, exactly. You know what? I would agree with that. Just can't finish the deal. I would say we do have the NIL in a better spot than maybe, I don't know, 6 months ago. I think we're in a much better spot now. Unfortunately, I think some of these rich guys sat on their thumbs, and after they didn't kick in their money until after we lose to Michigan again. I think that's what it took, honestly. And then we crush it, in NIL. Dissy says, I think Guerrero and James Laurinaitis will split special teams. That's fine. Billy says, I imagine a special teams touchdown. It almost looked like you wrote STTD, Billy. It's a little dicey. What a concept. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But Billy's calling a shot already. Are you predicting one for 2024, Billy? Odysseus says less opportunities for special teams TDs today with rule changes than back in 2014. Good point. Odysseus says, is Sean a Tigers fan spring training soon? No, I don't even know if he follows baseball anymore. He used to be a Red Sox fan. Sean was like classic bandwagon team guy. He liked the Red Sox when they were good. He likes Dallas, the Cowboys. And of course, the Buckeyes are always good. So bandwagon there too. But Odysseus says the cheaters at 9.5 is way too high. 9.5 wins. Yeah. Yeah, I already took the under. I think the under was juiced a little heavy too. I have to go back and check that. I think I got it right here, actually. Yeah, the under was -125. The over was -105. So they're not getting much action on the over yet. I'm sure Buckeye fans are to thank for that. So, That's a big glass of vodka. No, just kidding. Am I? But yeah, the team over under win totals is going to be interesting. I think Bama being ranked where are they? 9 in the way too early poll. I think that's a little aggressive. I don't like Bama at all, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose some more dudes after the spring ball. Um, Jeremiah says, I say Scum will have 3 to 5 losses in 2024. I like that. Yeah, they're not looking good. I think Notre Dame might have just finalized their schedule for 2024. Maybe that's part of the reason we're not getting team totals for them yet. So I made up my own line. I got them at 9.5. That could be I could be talked into 10.5, but I just feel like they always lose a game they shouldn't, you know. Um, they got Notre Dame has at Texas A&M, which, say what you want about them. It's not a huge game to me. Northern Illinois at Purdue. They got Miami of Ohio, Louisville, bye week, Stanford, at Georgia Tech, Navy is at MetLife Stadium, another bye, just 2 bye shit. Anyway, then Florida State, Virginia, Army at Yankee Stadium, and at Southern Cal. So I got 2 losses there. I don't know about you guys. I hate it when they try and shoehorn these fucking football games into baseball stadiums. Why? Yankee Stadium is not even close to big enough to fit a fucking football field comfortably. Dudes always end up running in through the end zone into the freaking wall, taking one in the nads. Back to the chat. Billy says, Team Up North might be heading back into the dark ages. Yeah. Still waiting for the NCAA. Yeah. Hey, did you guys check out my episode on the helmet comms? No updates there yet, but coming up here in a couple weeks, the NCAA rules committee is supposed to be meeting, going over the feedback they got from the bowl games and moving forward. So I really hope, I really, really, really hope we have a decision by the end of spring, like end of April latest. So these schools can get shit working, you know. In the chat, Odysseus says 24/7 had the cheaters top 5 and way too early top 25. Nice, top 5. Fucking, are you smoking? Billy says, I expect A&M to be on the rise under Elko. Okay. I have no idea I haven't dug into the Texas A&M roster, so I don't know who they have coming back. I know they lost a ton of dudes in the portal. Dylan Stewart, is that? No. Evan Stewart, right? The 5-star receiver. He's at Oregon, so that's going to affect us somewhat. Jeremiah says, one game Notre Dame lost that they could have won was our Buckeyes last year. Yeah, they should have. They should have won that game with a goal line stand, probably, with Honda McCord at quarterback, throwing dots to the Notre Dame safeties. Odysseus says Al Washington special. Yeah, exactly. I blame. I don't know. I got to take it to the top. I blame Freeman on that one. It's his job to call timeouts, not the D-line coaches. He could have called the timeout right there. Odysseus says should be called the broken vacuum salesman rule. Yes, I agree. The Stallions rule. I'm good with any of those. But yeah, it's got to be done, right? The helmet thing has to be done this year. And then you got to give schools, most schools are going to, especially in the Power 5, are all going to get it. But most schools across Division I are going to get the helmet comms. So yeah, they got to get it done soon. You can't give the order or the allow it, pass it in your rules committee in freaking August. It's got to be like end of April. So, 'cause you got to order this shit, you got to get it in, you got to get it all installed into the helmets correctly, which I don't know how easy that is. So you got equipment people involved, you got the communications people involved because it's a separate wiring into the mic, into the headset of whoever's calling the play. So if it's Chip Kelly's probably going to be up in the box, right? Do you guys agree? You think Chip Kelly's in the box? That's what I think. So if Chip's calling the plays from up in the box, it's a separate wiring than the headsets that he's talking to Ryan Day on or whatever. So there's a lot of little technical things to be worked out. Besides the rules, you got to decide when you want to cut off communication to the player from the coach. You also got to decide how many players are going to have the comms in their helmets, so, and of course you got to have committees to decide all this, and you got to have a committee to oversee the committees, right? So yeah, I just, when I think of the NCAA, I just get frustrated. I don't know why. And the word committee, I hate meetings. Every time somebody asks me about a meeting, you want to have a meeting? Like, fuck no. I say that inside. I don't say it out loud typically. But Quo Vadis, RLTW. What does that mean? Sorry, I'm not up on the hip new acronyms. Really like Tiger Woods. Me too. I'm actually going to turn on the golf after we're done here. Anybody else watching the golf? Tiger's playing the Genesis. He's the host, so he kind of has to play it. But so he's basically going to play like once a month throughout the year, probably like 10 total tournaments, obviously all the majors and shit. But he's walking around on the course good yesterday. I didn't see any limps or anything. He wasn't using his driver as a cane or a walking stick, so that's always good. But Matthew, what's up, man? Good to see you. Matthew says, just checking in to say hi all. Hope all is well. Go Bucks. How you doing, Matthew? You back up and walking and moving and grooving? Hopefully you're getting back to 100%. But I appreciate you popping in. Matthew's pride of the 419, hardest working man on the Buckeye cast. What else you guys want to get into? You want to go back and talk about Larry? We can talk about Larry. I did not expect him to let his contract expire or something, because his contract did expire. I think he was working the last couple of weeks without a contract. I think January 31st is when most of them expired. So I'm just, it's going to continue to be a weapon used against him in recruiting. So I don't know. There's really no way out. I feel like that's what bothers me, is I feel like we're stuck in a corner. We painted ourselves into a corner with this Larry Johnson contract. And the only way out is to like let him retire, and bring somebody in. But remember, Larry Johnson used to always say to the media when they asked him about retirement and they brought up that word, he was always like, why does nobody ever ask Nick Saban when he's going to retire? He's the same age as me. And now Nick Saban's retired, so it doesn't help his case much. But Cobatis says Rangers lead the way. That's what RL Oh, yeah, RLTW means. Just wanted to up the algorithm. All right, I appreciate it. Good effort. Rangers are cool. I'm good with all the Rangers. Matthew says, absolutely, bro. Walking almost work about. Oh, all right. I don't know what that last word was, Matthew, but I'm good. I'm glad you're up and almost working. He says, workable here, a few weeks, be back, wait on the frost laws to lift. Go a few days a week, then get into the groove, go hard by hitting middle spring. Nice. Sounds good. Yeah. I always forget about that frost shit. Don't miss that. Billy says, I was excited by the possibility of hiring Tap. Yeah, I know it, man. They talked to him. I'm pretty sure they talked to him. I don't know who else in the NFL. I know they talked to Jason Taylor extensively. Seemed like that was on the verge. They were talking contract, parameters, which means dollars. So yeah, I was just excited that they would bring somebody in for a 1 year holdover, to let Larry go gracefully. But it's looking more and more like I don't know, man. It might just have to be a clean break, like a year from now, next January. And maybe it's on Larry to make that move. I don't know if Ryan Day is going to make that move for him. So, and we'll get somebody good. I mean, it's Ohio State, man. Obviously, you got fucking Power 5 coaches leaving their head coaching job, coming to be an OC at Ohio State. We're going to get good coaches. I'm not worried about it. I don't think recruiting will even fall off. I mean, can it get worse? I mean, D-line recruiting was mediocre at best this year. If Edric Houston had flipped to Bama last minute, this would have been sorry, no disrespect to Dom Kirks and Eric Mensa, but it's not a good class, man. 3-star and a low 4. But what I gave him the other day on grades, I think I gave him a D for the D-line recruiting. Pretty sure I graded them a D. So anyway, it's got to get better though. And we'll see if the NIL is 100% fixed, not an issue going forward. If that's true, like we kind of are seeing that right now with the huge portal additions and everything else, and getting the 2021 class to come back with Jack and JT and those guys. I just something has to happen. I don't know what to do with the recruiting there. On the bright side, linebacker recruiting is getting better. I like Peyton Pierce coming in. I like Garrett Stover. You realize that we have not had a linebacker recruit from outside the state of Ohio in 21, 22, and 23 classes. Now we got Garrett Stover from the 24 class, but 3 years in a row there, we got 0 recruits from outside Ohio. And I could play devil's advocate and say, I forgot what I was going to say. You should be able to land a recruit in the state of Ohio at linebacker. That should be a given. Linebackers in Ohio should all want to come to Ohio State. So I'm not sure if you should deserve much credit for landing an in-state Ohio linebacker. And in Garrett Stover's case, this is not, I'm not going to shit on him or anything, but, you know, his cousin is Cade, you know, played on the team last year. Do you get a lot of credit for that? Seems like there wasn't a lot of recruiting necessary there. So I'm really interested to see with this 2025 recruiting class at the linebacker position with James Laurinaitis. We're in on a couple big ones. Like I said, here in Florida, you got TJ Alford over in Vero Beach on the East Coast. And then you got, what's his name? Elijah Melendez over in Kissimmee, south of Orlando. Disney, I like to call it. So you got a guy from Disney, a guy from Vero. Who would have guessed that there would be football players from those places? But anyways, Kissimmee High School actually is pretty good. Osceola High, it's called. But so I really want to see how we do nationwide in this linebacker recruiting going forward. Peyton Pierce, yes, a national guy, 4-star, and I like him. He's a good solid 4-star, not a high one, not a low one, but good solid 4-star. And it's got the foot injury right now, so we're not going to see much of him. Definitely not through spring. We're not going to see him at all. So we'll see what happens there. Let's go back to the chat, see what's happening. Billy, yes. Billy says we had a commitment or crystal ball from Justin Scott, Marquise Lightfoot, and Dylan Stewart. Was it all NIL? I would venture to say a large part of it, yeah, because Miami was involved on 2 of those guys, and Stewart, South Carolina, was involved. So I would say NIL was a factor. I can't say it was what a percentage, 90%, 75%. I don't know. You know, I'm not sure anybody's going to know that. I think the future will tell us if these guys pop in the portal next year, right? So if they spend 1 year on their respective campuses and things don't go their way, are they in the portal, you know, a year or in 10 months, really, and after the football season's over? So Govada says, after the last 2 years, I'm so excited about 2024. QBs, linebackers, safeties, receivers, and RBs. Me too. I think there's a lot to be excited about, man. Definitely. I'm with you. Billy says that's James Laurinaitis' first big test, the 2025 linebacker recruiting. And the big thing is, you know, I talked about it the other day on one of the episodes. They all kind of run together at some point, for me anyway, about we are recruiting nationally at the linebacker spot, right? I uploaded a bunch of those videos to the video vault for linebackers in 2025. There are some major dudes in this 25 class. I got the offer list right here, actually. I'll just read the city and state where they're coming from. We got 22 offers. That's a lot. 22 linebacker offers. And we got to reload that room, man. We got dudes leaving. I'll pull up my scholarship thing as well. Where's my scholarship grid? There it is. Okay. So linebackers, you lose Carrico to the portal, Steele and Tommy to the NFL. And then you got Cody Simon will be gone. Court Williams, if he ever gets on the field, will have 1 more year. CJ Hicks, Gabe Powers, Nigel Glover, Arvell Reese. We're going to talk about him on Sunday, and Pearson Stover. So you got to reload that room. I know you're only playing 2 linebackers most of the time, but, you know, Billy, I'm going to circle back to the recruiting. I'm not going to forget. But Billy, to your point about James Laurinaitis' first test being the 2025 class, yes, I would say point 1B to that is, can you get CJ Hicks on the fucking field? Can you develop him, you know, and get him to learn the defense, and be an impact player. I'm concerned about him. You know, we're looking at how many years now? He came in 2022. So 1, 2, 3. So he's third year, and I haven't seen it yet. All right. So back to recruiting. So we'll start from the top here. Georgia, Florida, Texas, California, Texas, New Jersey, Florida, Texas, Virginia, Florida, California, Georgia, Illinois, Ohio. He's already commit, Eli Lee. Then California, Texas. That's 22 dudes. So you took the one in-state guy that you offered, and the rest are national recruits. Georgia, Florida, Texas, basically. And one guy from Jersey, one guy from Virginia. So it's a lot going on there, man. Back to the chat here. Odysseus says, I think it was NIL combined with negative recruiting about Larry Johnson's age. Yeah, I think those two things definitely affected Stewart, Scott, and Lightfoot. Billy says, would have been a hell of a class. Yeah, it would have been good if we just would have hung on to Justin Scott. I mean, a 5-star D tackle, 5-star strong side defensive end. That's a good fucking D-line class, man. But, yeah. Billy said, yeah, I got you, Billy. Billy says, Morris Williams said he chose Auburn because they negative recruited Larry Johnson. Yep, very true. Ray, what's up, man? Good to see you, Ray. Ray says, I would actually love to beat the great Michigan team this year. Fuck up their hopes and dreams for once. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming, man. About 9 months. Billy says CJ and Sonny should be a dream linebacker core. Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna both be on at will linebacker at the same time. Cody Simon's gonna be your Mike. But yeah, I like Sonny at linebacker for sure. Definitely. A few weeks ago, I did an episode of the Daily Blitz about playing Sonny and CJ Hicks at the same time or alternating at hybrid positions, kind of. So go back and check that out if you want. And before that, I did an episode. I was one of the first people to talk about it, at least on YouTube and podcasts, about Sonny Styles moving to linebacker. Now all the beat writers are finally talking about it. And I think it's very doable. I think it's going to be an easy move for him. I think his body just is naturally taking him to that linebacker position because, he was struggling to keep weight off. So I think he could be at 235, 240 easily, Odysseus says Hicks needed more reps last year. We played Tommy and Steele too much when the game was in hand, led to injuries for Tommy. That's fair. Let me pull up my snap counts so that I have a reference point. Yeah. Steele and Tommy, both over 600 snaps on the season. Eichenberg even missed 3 games. He had 606 total, did not play in the Michigan State, Minnesota, and the bowl game. But most games, they played like 60 snaps. There were some games in there where Steele only had 32 snaps against Purdue, 44 against Rutgers, 36 against Michigan State, 34 against Minnesota. Those are the games, obviously where CJ Hicks got more snaps. Going to Rutgers, he just did special teams. But Michigan State, CJ had 18 snaps. Minnesota 14 snaps. So Early in the season against Youngstown, he had 16. I'm not going to count that. He just had 4 against Missouri. So, you know what? I should do a film breakdown of all of CJ's snaps if I can find them all. So I'd like to speak more intelligently about how he did entirely. He only had 75 total snaps. I know it's not much to go on, but when you're getting limited time, limited action, you know, we can only go on what we see, right? Gabe Powers, another one, 21 snaps on the year. I imagine he's probably going to be backing up Cody, so you're going to see some more of him. You know, I'm not saying they're going to split time or something, but if Cody gets dinged up or late in games, you're going to see more of Gabe Powers finally. Which, you know, about freaking time. Really would love to see more of these linebackers. And yes, back to your point, Odysseus, Ohio State in general, all the position coaches need to do a better job of managing blowouts, you know, and you're going to have a hell of a schedule, plenty of time to manage some blowouts this year with this garbage schedule, man. You guys seen this shit? I know we went through it before, but look at this. Akron, Western Michigan, Marshall, Sparty, Iowa, then, of course, week 6, you go to Oregon. So that's big time. But you can treat those first 4 games as a preseason, get guys ready, you know. Then you got Iowa week 5, Oregon 6. Nebraska is probably somebody you need to be ready for. Then Penn State. So shit gets real right in the middle of that schedule where you go Oregon, Nebraska, Penn State. Then you got 3 cupcakes in a row, Purdue, Northwestern, Indiana, and then the Cheaters. So I can't wait to see the strength of schedule for the Buckeyes. It's going to be garbage. It's going to be bad. It's going to be as bad as Michigan usually is, like Michigan was last year, man. It's going to be down in like the 60s or some shit. So, but yeah, do need to manage the blowouts better, get guys in there. Yeah, you got to do it. And that comes from Ryan Day on down, you know. He does it with the offense too. He keeps them out there way too long, you know. He did it with CJ Stroud, did it with Justin occasionally. So Billy says if Raiola is ravioli, it's ravioli, Billy. Come on. If Ravioli's starting for Nebraska, that will be a fun game to watch. Yeah, I agree. Because he's going to get fucking killed back there with his fat ass. That dude, he's going to take some shots. And I'm going to assume that Nebraska's O-line isn't exactly, you know, top notch. D-line could be interesting in 2025. You're going to have a full-time. I like Caden McDonald down in the middle. Jason Moore is probably going to slide. He is a D tackle. Those guys are going to make serious waves, I believe. They're going to get some playing time this year for sure. But Caden had 35 snaps, couple on offense as a fullback, and Jason Moore just had 3 snaps. So you got a red shirt there. Looks like Caden did not red shirt. Taiwan Malone, are we ever going to see anything out of him? Talking about the D-line. You're going to see a lot of Hero Canoe this year. You're going to see a lot of Ty Hamilton, as usual. And then a Ty Leak, of course, down in the middle. And your ends, you know, ends are pretty much solidified. You got everybody coming back. So only 63 snaps for Mitchell Mountain last year. That's a bummer. I'm going to kind of wind it down here before I get out the door. Anything else on your minds you want to talk about? we're going to get Jeff and Sean's reaction. Hey, don't forget about the video vault. Go to the buckeyecast.com. We got dudes joining every day. We've had at least one person join every day since we launched. Over 120 videos, got condensed games in there. I'm going to keep adding to that. This is like YouTube, but without all the ads. Zero ads, no commercials. So, and it's all Buckeye related stuff, whether it's recruiting highlights, your condensed games, and your film breakdowns. I just uploaded a Chip Kelly video. It's about the evolution of his offense from Oregon to UCLA. So that might be interesting if you want to see what he's bringing to the table. But yeah, Sunday night, me, Jeff, and Sean, 7:30. We'll be getting their reaction since we didn't do a show last weekend of the Super Bowl. We'll get their reaction to some of the coaching movement, stuff like that. And more of the usual hijinks for sure. Billy says, Joe, now that the staff is set, we need you to supply a steady stream of booms for the next 6 months. Don't let us down. Your wish is my command, Billy, or your boom is my command. Oh, we do have a decision coming up in March, I believe. Is that Alfred? TJ Alfred? Yeah. End of March, he'll be deciding. So right there, we might see here in about 5-6 weeks the fruits of James Laurinaitis' recruiting. So I know that the Canes are heavy into that one, but we'll see. But we will have some booms coming for sure. I need to check and see if anybody's got any other decision dates. I haven't seen anything, I don't think, for 2025 for people we're into. Yeah, I don't think so. I like Laurinaitis staying in and keeping the pressure on Elijah Melendez because he's currently committed to Miami, the kid out of Kissimmee at Osceola High School. He's currently a Miami commit, but Laurinaitis, is Mr. Tenacity, so he'll stay in on that. I don't know about any of these Georgia guys. Zayden Walker, Jaden Perlow, Tavian Wallace. There's 3 of the top linebackers we've offered are all from Georgia. Got a Buford guy, of course. Yeah, the top 5 are Georgia and Florida. But yeah, we're going to get a steady stream of booms. Heartline is in on some guys, so I think you're going to hear some stuff from there. We got 3 crystal balls for the safety. Fahim Delane. Oh, God damn it. We just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crystal balls in for Nasir Wyatt, the edge rusher, to go to Oregon. So that pisses me right off. He's out of California. Buckeyes were in for him. He had offers from everybody, though. He was almost a 5-star, high 4. He's a 9'8", 2'8", number 2 edge in the class. So it looks like he's going to Oregon. They're going to be tough to beat in recruiting. Oregon is, and all their games are going to be on TV now going forward. So that helps them. Yeah, we got some dudes. Kalik Lockett is somebody out of Texas, a receiver that I would keep an eye on. I noticed that they have moved Dorian Brew to the receiver listings on 24/7 Sports. So I think some teams are getting in his ear and telling him that he'll play both ways. And that's why he pushed back his commitment. So he should have already committed. And Jamie French, Jaime French, however you want to call it, say his name. He's going to be a Buckeye, I believe. was the Bama commit, high 4-star, almost a 5-star receiver. He's out of Jacksonville. Dude's got great hands. I saw him in some 7-on-7s a couple weeks ago. So abusing kids out there. So yeah, I think we should start getting some offensive players in this class pretty soon. But yeah, you got Fahim Delane. Whenever he decides to commit, he'll be a Buckeye. Yeah, Billy, I think Dorian Brew might be leaning towards Texas. Buckeyes were in on him strong. You know, then he moved, and the Buckeyes were still in on him. He's friends with Devin Sanchez, you know, and the family. They only live like 20 minutes apart or something like that. So thought that we had a better chance with him there. Running back's going to be dicey. We're going, you know, national there too. Jordan Davison out of Santa Ana, California, modern day. And you got Byron Lewis down in Fort Lauderdale. Say it ain't so, Tony. Torrey Blaylock out of Texas. We always do well with Texas running backs. So yeah, there's plenty of offensive guys that should be committing. And then you got all the camps starting and all that crap. So got some visits already planned for some 25 guys. We'll see what happens here. But hey, don't forget to hit the like button, please. Thank you. And don't forget to check out the video vault. Go to thebuckeyecast.com. Click on the link at the top of the page for the video vault and sign up for the free trial. Check out all the videos. 3 days, you know, just to run through it. But Billy says if we get McNutt and Delane, that's a great DB class. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm penciling those guys in for sure. Definitely. It's just a matter of when do they want to commit, right? It's always the way it is. So, all right, I'm going to get out of here, you guys. Pour a drink, cook up some dinner, go outside. But hope you guys are having a good Friday. Start the weekend off, and we'll see you Sunday night. Talk to you later. Go Bucks.